So, as I'm sure you already know, cases have been going absolutely insane the first couple of months of 2025 to start the year. Cases have been like the talk of the CS2 investing scene. They have just had huge gains. Everybody's making a ton of money. It's going great. But I've been getting a ton of questions, a ton of comments, people asking like, one, is it too late to invest in cases? And then people who already have invested in cases are like, oh, is it time to sell? Is it time to get out? Is this the end of the run up and now things are about to crash? But Master Shiny actually just posted a video today that I thought was very, very interesting where he talks about and makes a case for the fact that cases still have more room to run, that maybe the case insanity is just getting started, even though it's already been so crazy to start the year. Now, is Master Shiny an absolute idiot? Does he have no idea what he's talking about? Or does he actually give us some pretty interesting data and make a really, really compelling case for why cases could get even crazier from here? That's what we got to talk about in this video today. Today's video is sponsored by Pirate Swap, an automated CS2 trading platform where you can turn your skins into new ones simple and easy. All you have to do is click on the skins that you want to get rid of and then click on the new skins that you want to own and select confirm trade. It's that simple, it's that easy. And Pirate Swap has an amazing collection of skins, so you will definitely be able to find something that you like. And if you use the discount code GERM on Pirate Swap today, you're actually going to be able to claim a free $10 bonus and be able to get a 35% deposit bonus as well. So it's an awesome site with awesome features offering you an amazing discount. So there's no reason to not go check out Pirate Swap with that first link in the description below today. And thank you to them for sponsoring this video. I want to start by saying that Master Shiny is obviously a guy who is very, very knowledgeable on the CS markets. He puts a ton of time, effort, everything into his content, but is investing, and this is stuff he's always thinking about, always looking at. So he definitely knows what he's talking about a lot of the times. He has a lot of really, really cool data, graphs, information, all that stuff. Now, that doesn't mean I always agree with everything he has to say. Sometimes, he can be wrong, or I can disagree with him, or whatever. There's a lot of opinion, a lot of nuance that goes into a lot of CS2 investing and all investing in general. But obviously, I do definitely agree with a lot of what he has to say in this video. And honestly, I do think cases do have a lot of room to run from here. I think they could just be getting started. I think that's very, very possible. But also, I want to argue a little bit that either way, it doesn't matter. Whether cases are going to go up further from here in the short term or even dip a little bit in the short term, I don't really think it matters too much. Now, he does present some really, really interesting stuff in this video. And I believe the first thing is right about here, where we have the fact that he talks about the total number of case listings on the Steam community market, where this was in early 2024. We had about 3.5 million total cases listed on the Steam community market. And I think this is really interesting data because this is something I had seen other people talking about, like, oh my god, this case, like the Steam listings are drying up, the Steam listings are like going way down. I know somebody commented on my video last week and they were like, oh, I actually own more cases than are even listed on Steam, like more of one specific case than is even listed on Steam. I don't know if they were joking or memeing or being serious or whatever, but it does kind of show that people have noticed that the case listings are dropping off. But hey, I'm not glued to the Steam community listings day to day or month to month, year to year. I don't know or remember the exact number, so it was hard for me to really talk about or make sense of if this was actually happening. But now we actually see a data and a graph showing again that we've gone from 3.5 million listed at the beginning of 2024 to, he shows here, about a million. He has like a thing with an arrow or something, I don't know, but you can see we got very, very close to a million at the beginning of 2025. Now I think we have peaked back up to 1.2 million, but still we've gone from 3.5 million to 1.2 million. That's like a, I don't know, 67% drop off or something like that over the course of a year, which is very, very crazy. Now, again, the listings on Steam do not necessarily tell the full story of cases. One, because most people wouldn't really want to buy and sell cases on Steam. Again, if you're looking to sell your cases, you wouldn't want to necessarily pay the high Steam fees and all that stuff. Like, there's third-party marketplaces you can sell to people directly, whatever. But also, obviously, we know tons of people have cases locked away in storage units and tucked away, and they're investing in them, or they're holding them, or they want to open them, or they have some plans for them, or whatever. So it's not like the listings on Steam are the end-all be-all of all the cases, but to see this significant amount of a drop-off is very, very interesting, and obviously this is going to make prices rise, but it also shows us another thing, that cases are being eaten up, cases are being eaten into, and that just part of the reason, but a very, very big part of the reason why we've seen case prices exploding. Again, people love opening cases. We know that Valve makes a ton of money off the gambling, off the opening cases. People love spinning the wheel and seeing the golds go by and all that stuff. And by investing in CS2 cases, you're able to invest in the giant gambling machine that we know everyone loves and is always going to continue to open cases that Valve has going. This is your way to actually be a piece of that. And, those are some of the best ways to make money in all of gaming. You have like FIFA Ultimate Team and packs and all that stuff, but there's no way to actually get invested. There's no way to actually, make money off that yourself. But in CS, you can actually invest in cases and stuff. And since people are eating up cases and cases are going down, and case supplies are dwindling, even though cases are getting more expensive, they still are going to continue to get more and more and more expensive because people love opening cases, and people are going to continue to open cases, and people are going to continue to chase after the golds and the rare skins. And that's why I always preach that cheap cases are a great thing, because I think over time a bunch of cases are just going to continue to get more expensive, but also investing in cases that have some genuine reason to actually have demand, whether it's, a really cool knife or a really rare skin or an expensive skin or whatever, investing in some of those cases that actually will continue to give reasons of people to keep opening them is a very, very big thing. So this is one thing that I think is very interesting and is a great sign for the case market overall, that the supply is just dropping off a cliff. The supply is getting eaten into insanely, and that shows us that there's no real reason why this should be slowing down anytime soon. You could say, oh, what if people start dumping all their cases on the market, we can get a big replenish or whatever, but at the same time, there's just not enough cases out there. Again, rare drop pool cases are just 1% of the overall drops happening in the game, and that's split between however many things are in the rare drop pool, and also the number of items in the rare drop pool is only going to increase over time as well, which means the older cases and all the cases in the rare drop pool are going to be getting dropped even less often as the player base increases, as people open more cases, as just like inflation and people get more money and stuff like that. The price of this stuff is just going to generally go up over time, and it's not going to matter as much when those prices rise either, because the price of everything has been rising over the past couple of years. So I don't know. This was a very, very good sign. But then the other great sign, and the other thing
when
that
you
I thought
travel
was
for
very,
business,
very interesting that he showed. We have to watch this ad real quick, so we got to get through this. But this is worth getting through, because this other graph that he does show to me is very, very, very interesting. This is a big thing. He shows the total cases dropped and consumed. The blue graphs are the number of cases being dropped, and the red lines are the number of cases being consumed. And when the red actually starts to go above the blue, those are the points and those are the times where more cases are being opened than cases are being dropped. Now, that could be for a bunch of different reasons. It could mean people are opening up a ton more cases, or less cases are getting dropped, or people's money's going into other places. I don't know necessarily why or why not or whatever, but right now, and for the past couple months, it looks like, I don't really know exactly when it pretty much seems like at the beginning of 2025 is where we crossed over, and coincidentally enough, that's when we started to see the case prices going crazy. We started consuming more cases than were being dropped. And again, this has happened a couple times before, you can see in this graph, and then we've kind of gone up and down and up and down. It's a cycle for sure. But for right now, we are opening more cases than are being dropped, and that is leading to this continual explosion. That is still happening right now, and it could continue to happen for a while. We could drop right back down and have more cases dropping again, and then prices might plateau or go down a little bit. But again, I would argue that doesn't really matter that much, because if you are a long-term investor, and if you are wanting to accumulate as much of the best CS2 assets and the best CS2 investments as possible and hold them for a long time and let them really mature and make a ton of money off them, you shouldn't really care. I think the people who right now are thinking like, oh, is it too late to invest in cases? No, absolutely not, because look at this stuff. The supply is going down. We're opening more than are being dropped. The fundamentals are amazing. The fundamentals are perfect. We know Valve, it makes a ton of money, and you can make money too. I know some people are like worried about gambling regulations or new laws or whatever coming out, and guess what? Valve is a very, very strong, powerful, and wealthy corporation. They're going to do everything they can to fight off stuff like that and keep their money printer going, that is cases. But yes, as long as more cases are being consumed and dropped, prices are going to stay up, prices are going to continue to grow, and when this is happening, the supply of like our rare case and stuff like that is dropping even further, even faster, and that just makes an even more insane fundamental. This is why stuff like this is why I do believe, obviously, that cases are like the S+ tier investment of the CS2 world. And again, people saying, is it too late? People waiting for a dip. The best stuff in the world, the best asset class of whatever investing you're doing, those things don't dip very often, and oftentimes it's not worth waiting for. Now, we can look at the all-time graph for something like the glove case, and does it have a few dips here and there? Yeah, but it just also generally goes up, and if you're waiting for the dips to buy in, you're missing out on insane gains in the meantime. And yes, you are buying some sort of dip, but you're still ending up usually paying a higher price than if you would have just continued to buy over time. And this might sound a little bit counterintuitive, this might sound a little bit weird, weird, but for most assets, buying at an all-time high is actually one of the best times to buy, because things that are at an all-time high are actually more likely to go up than not, because there's usually a reason that they just hit an all-time high, and they're usually on an upward trajectory, and they usually continue to set new all-time highs. I know a lot of people want to buy low and sell high, but guess what? The best stuff doesn't dip very often, and oftentimes you just get sat on the sidelines, missing out on the gains in the meantime, and then you eventually try to buy a dip if that dip even ever comes. So again, looking at something like a glove case, where would you be buying these dips? And even if you did buy the couple dips that are here, you missed out on most of the gains, and you would have been better off just continuing to buy over time. Yeah, buying at the all-time high sometimes, but the all-time high didn't last very long, and it sets a new all-time high very soon. Something like the Chroma 2 case, again, yeah, there are some dips here and there, but again, generally it just goes up and to the right. Prism 2 case, same type of story here. This one's a little bit more volatile. It goes up and down some, but hey, the gains are there. Operation Breakout Weapon case, it just kind of goes up over time. You can even look at this in the traditional investing world with stuff like stocks. You have Apple. If you were waiting to buy the dips on Apple, guess what? The dips don't happen very often, and sometimes you might be waiting like 10 years for a dip to come, and you just missed out on a ton of gains. Same thing with something like Microsoft. Yeah, in 2022, we did see this kind of big dip and big drop off, but guess what? Like the 15 years before that, there weren't very many dips, and over time it just kind of went up. And from 2011 to 2021, you would have been waiting for a dip that never really happened. Something like the S&P 500, again, this is like 25 years of just kind of going up and to the right. And these are some of the best assets in the world, and obviously comparing CS items to some of the best assets in the world does not necessarily make sense, but these are the best investments in the CS2 world. These are the best in class investments, and they have very similar graphs. They have very similar fundamentals and ideas, that there are reasons why they have value. They have reasons why the value has previously continued to climb, and reasons why it's going to continue to climb in the future. We do know that right now case unboxing numbers are looking very, very strong. 24 million cases unboxed in the past month, which is a great sign for cases. And again, if this continues to happen, case prices could go even further from here. It's very, very possible. And then, of course, this is a big thing as well, that the CS2 game is very, very popular, and people are playing this thing massively right now. To start out the year in 2025, we had a pretty flat month in January, 0.02% growth, but then in February, we were seeing 0.567% player growth, and we also just hit the new all-time peak players for CS2. Yes, we did still have a higher number of peak players during CSGO. We're getting very, very close to that number, but we did hit a new peak number for CS2 itself. So again, that's more people playing the game, more people opening cases, more people spending money in the markets, more money in the markets in general. Things are just going absolutely crazy. So I know it might sound a little weird that Master Shiny is talking about cases having even more room to run when they're already hitting all-time highs and they're already up insanely to start the year. But yes, I think cases right now are much, much, much closer to a buy than a sell. Yes, you have maybe less chance of making as much gains as you did buying today than you did a year ago. But I think they went from a no-brainer home run grand slam deal last year to still like a great deal this year, and a great investment. Yes, you should have bought them last year. Yes, you should have been buying them over the last 2 years, but you can't go back in time. All you can do is decide right now today what you're going to do, and I do think that so much of the graph, so much of the data, so much of the fundamentals shows that cases still continue to be one of the best performing assets in all of CS2 so far in the past, and I think going forward into the future as well. So again, Master Shiny, even though he's talking about buying something and investing in something that's up insanely to start the year, I don't think it's crazy. I actually think he's onto something, and I think there's a lot of great news for cases right now, and a lot of room for them to continue to run, and a lot of reasons why that could continue to happen. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.